compliments, hoppers, and Grenada Paper Products, manufacturers of Royal, Horizon, and Quick and Easy paper towels and napkins.
Raise it high up the ladder, let we set it on fire. A little more calypso, forget the funk and the disco.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to We Culture for this, the 10th day of February 2023. Well, we've just completed our 49th anniversary of independence. Well, of course, today, yes. They said that the celebration continues. But 49 years, it's quite an achievement. As a matter of speaking. And so tonight we are going to reflect on what transpired on the day. Yeah, of course the team is here, and of course we are all pretty excited. There's a lot to talk about, and so we will get started right after we say welcome to all our viewers on GBN TV, our listeners on K105 FM, and also our viewers on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. It's a pleasure to be back. Last week we were out because, of course, we brought you the Independence Calypso Monarch competition. Of course, we had a new monarch crowned, Cox. And, of course, congratulations to Cox and all the others who participated. And let's bring in the team. Gentlemen, lady, good evening. Doc, how are you doing?
Pretty good. What can I say? Yeah, feeling really good. Glad to be here again. Pick up the pieces from where we left, and I'm here with the team, so we are ready to take it again on the road.
Oh yes, indeed. Finley, what man? I see when the locks come back, but what? I have a feeling you ain't go by your father in a long time.
That not locks, you have to learn that, that's a wig.
Oh, that's a wig?
Yeah, that is a locks wig.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, so of course in it, but it's nice to be back again. How much? A week break we had? Yeah, a week break.
Yeah, just 1 week, indeed.
A week break, we had some nice Kaiso Friday, so Kaiso is my thing, and as you said, truth is we had a nice competition. Mm-hmm. A lot of people were really happy that the thing is back. For the last couple of years, we didn't celebrate independence as we normally would.
That's right.
And the Calypso competition was in the stadium, behind closed doors with a few people. So now people were back in the numbers. It was a kind of the March Gras thing, so it was good, and it's good to be back to speak about the whole independence thing.
Yes.
Lots of talking points and so on, and even when we hit that segment there and make that make sense. Doc, I will take make that make sense tonight.
Well, I have one too, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, I will take that, but that is after we say hello to the dark screen. I don't know what Reece did in the dark. Me, I know. You look as though I took a flashlight.
They were cut off, and all that shit.
I don't understand what's going on with that.
Well, Scores, I have to congratulate you as well, because I know you did quite a bit of work for Cox and Pappy and some of the other Calypsonians, and you was able to pull the first and second place. So congratulations, Well,
I'm taking it because the truth is that when you're a Kaiso writer, people don't understand that the Kaiso writer is the really important man, because 75% of the marks points that a Calypsonian scores.
That's right.
Is he writing on it? Yeah. So,
Indeed.
It's almost as if the writer winning the crown, I mean, the Calypsonian only goes for 25%, so I'm taking it by.
Yeah. Well, a little body, Doc, tell me, After Finley make a big announcement in Progress Park the last time that he do coming back, here he coming back, you know.
Well, not tell that Papi show Godfrey.
Yeah, but I hear, but Doc, you have to understand there are certain underlying factors. You see, things doesn't happen just so, you know. You have to understand what's going on. You have to delve deep into the thing and find out why the man going back.
Why going back?
Yeah.
Money?
You what?
You have the money? You have the price?
I don't know, but I figure he has some underlying factors why the man going back.
But Scala, hold on, Scala, you always coming. Hold on, Scala. But let me also congratulate you. The two songs, both songs were really, really powerful songs. I actually thought that since in the semifinals that I found that there was a movement upward in terms of the quality, in terms of the calypsos that were presented this year, but also the band did an excellent job in backing up the Calypsonians. I mean, some of them complained they didn't have enough rehearsal time, but I thought that was the level. The patrons, I thought that the patrons, I don't know what you think, but I found that the crowd in Sotes, both in Las Vegas and in Sotes, I thought it was commendable. I mean, not huge, but commendable, taking into consideration the break that we had. And I can't help but just say that I think this year, though, I felt it for teacher Eddie. I mean, I could live with all the other maybe things that happened, but I found that teacher Eddie, for once, he was kicking. And I didn't think that his position was really deserving. So I just started.
So, Doc, in other words, the thief.
Well, they made a mistake. I mean, yeah, some people were really alter keys. I mean, anyway, but I just thought like for teacher Eddie, I thought like for this year he was right there. No, not that he was going to get first. I don't think so. But I thought that he was not placed, in my humble opinion, deserving of where he was placed. He was not deserving.
No. I concur with you, Doc. I concur with you. But I also want to raise the point that I think we start getting it. And people look back on last year's carnival as a real flop and so on. But there's one thing that has been learned, a lesson that has been learned from last year's carnival. And if this continues, then I think the product, Calypso, Soca, whatever, will be much better for it. Because the Kaiso started minutes to 9 and it ended minutes to 11.
Oh, that was commendable.
And that was something that began last year in the Calypso final. Once you see you cut out this long time that the judges have to stay and put on red light and green light, the shows will move fast. I've said to people, you could have 20 soca artists and 20 groovy artists, you know.
Yes.
As long as you cut out the red light and the green light and let the MCs control the show so that there is just a minute between artists, one going in and one coming out. Before 1 o'clock, soca are finishing. But they always do this red light and green light and the red light taking long to go up. And that, I think, is something that was learned. And in 2 hours' time, the show was finished.
I think everybody, most people, they were happy that it finished around that time.
Right. Well, guys,
Godfrey, just one observation of on that. I also feel that it is a musical competition. It is not a play. It is not a drama. So when guys have presentation and it is 3 and 5 minutes, I believe that is totally ridiculous. And you're basically regurgitating some of the things you want to say. But I believe poetry falls within the whole idea of the creative, the poetry. And so your words, your performance must carry most of the mark. And so I don't see why somebody's presentation has to, someone's presentation has to go and be in 3 and 5 minutes.
Right. Well, let's welcome the Queen because I find she vexed. I find she come and she mouth stretch. So, good evening, love. How you do? Welcome.
Thank you. I can give you a side with you to see me mouth stretch, you know.
Yeah, I find your mouth stretch. I find you come and you stretch your mouth as somebody fresh.
What you doing in front of Mr. Yellow Blind?
That guy.
Every February I recycle that piece of yellow blind.
Saffron for another. Saffron for another piece of cutting out. Well, not cut it. Ask you saffron for another piece of blind.
And don't call it yellow. Call it gold, please.
Okay.
You see, take that piece of blind and she put it.
Yellow is a different thing.
Yeah, I think so. I believe that.
Yeah. Yellow is a different thing. This is gold, okay? Don't mix me. Thank you.
All right. Well, tell the people good evening.
Well, yeah, I want to welcome everyone. I mean, I have been very much under the weather over the past few days, but I couldn't miss We Culture tonight. So I took like an extra time trying to, make myself look like to not look like how I'm feeling, so that I can be here and take part in this program. So I want to welcome everyone. I'm about to go on Facebook to see who's there and, to welcome them. And about the Calypso show that happened, congratulations, King 1 and 2. They get it on. You see him on stage between two of them.
Yeah. Well, we see a just telling Doc here he coming back this year in the band guy. They say he coming back.
First time I see people sharing Krong, so it's like they happy to share Krong, because he had a glue. It had a glue that keeping the two together. Kind of thing. Well, anyways, congratulations. I totally enjoyed the songs. I thought, my God, Papi Boy song there, that one was straight out of Dimash Gra. That one mad. And I think a lot of people concur that, that song would have wake up Dimash Gra.
Performance.
Yeah. They a lot of people.
Performance was really
everything. The song composition, everything. That was like straight out of. But yeah, congratulations. I shared a view on Teacher Eddie as well.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was great. I really enjoyed his song as well. But King, you're the king. From the time I hear Review Mirror, I say, Nala, you have to talk to them, man. They're using things like review and reverse and all that in the song.
That copyright, I let them carefully. I let that just go.
Using your name in song.
Anyway,
what can we hear?
I want credit.
You want credit?
Well,
She wants credit.
Anyway, well, we had
you want credit?
Tell her don't worry. I'll go buy digital in the morning.
Anyway, so before we go to the most important opening of the show officially, we making something make sense tonight?
Yeah, I want to.
Yeah, we had two.
That's you want to make the apple, but I want.
Well, Doc, go with yours, and then
and mine have to do with independence.
Right.
So let me go. Mine is about independence. Actually,
mine is independence.
A couple of years ago, we were traveling just after 3 o'clock in the morning. So I tried to make it quick. Just after 3 in the morning, and we met a child in the road. So we picked up that child and dropped the child off to the police station because we were really worried and don't know. The child was maybe 5, 6 years. And the police proceeded to, get my bearings, my name, my number. And when they reached to the third question, my age, and then they reached to the fourth, my marital status, I thought it was totally ridiculous. A similar incident happened with someone else not too long ago again, and they were reporting an incident, a crime that was being committed. And when they called, the police again proceeded to ask those what I consider to be unnecessary questions at the time. So my advice is that if a crime is being committed and someone is trying to help in the situation, I think it is important that we zero in on what is important at that time. So let us get the information about the victim, the state of what is happening with the level of violence, arms, or whatever. And the other information, officers, as it relates to the personal age and the marital status, is not necessary at that time. So please, let us think about how we can help a situation rather than asking those unnecessary questions that can actually be asked at any other day. And that does not help in you expediting or responding to the situation at hand. So I just thought that, that doesn't make sense at all to me.
Godfrey, I could comment on that?
Yeah, you could comment on that.
That, you ever was a police?
No.
You never was a police?
No.
You don't watch movie?
Yes, I watch a lot of movies.
You realize all movie, police is
No.
that police blueprint, police all the way. Two things.
911.
Hold on. Two things. Police always coming when action done.
When everything finished.
Yes, everything finished. And two, if you report something, police asking you, kind of thing, they going all in granite tank, they coming down. Before they get to the real thing. So that to me is a police blue script. That not in grade alone, that police.
That police culture.
That police culture, you don't know we culture, your police culture.
Anyway.
But that don't make no sense to you. But here's one. Godfrey. I don't know her, but I find, I don't know if you should call that, make that make sense, or that don't make sense. I went to the independence service, yeah? Mm-hmm. And I noticed a pattern and I noticed something. And my mind flicked because I noticed that this is something that is happening all the time. That the men of the cloth, when they come to pray, they have things write down, pray. Or a man pull out the tablet and he read this thing and he pray. And I don't know, I don't find that to be pray. Right? I don't find so. I find a recital of something. I find when they just start to pray, praying is something that comes spontaneous from your heart, from your soul, from whatever. Remember when we were in school and they say, you have to pray, you have to clasp your hand and do what? Close your eyes. Yeah. And if your eye don't close good, some liquor belt. You still get some liquor belt. If you're peeping, it tells you that in culture, prayer is a thing that happens. You know, you close your, it's not thing where you read and I've realized that I'm seeing that a lot where men of the cloth, they pray in functions and they open their eyes and they reading things, you know? And I always find that strange. I mean, Pastor King was one that prayed for us in I think CXC had something, and Pastor King came and prayed. And when I look at Pastor King, eye closed, that wax, and that man of cloth to me, that is straight. Close, died, and Pastor King rackled down for about 5-10 minutes. That to me is great. But I don't know if it makes sense. Sometimes somebody might take me to task for that, but I don't find it with culture, I pray.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe they had to pattern the prayer to suit the occasion. I know. So they had to write it down and
write it down and man.
That is what it is. Yeah. And today we're very ticklish. So you want to make sure in your prayer you don't say something that you shouldn't say.
But that's not a political speech. Prayer has to be from the heart.
Right.
Well, yeah.
So,
but the receiver might be on a political vibe. So what I take from it might be different.
If I ask you to pray, 5 days from now, you write your thing and you write your prayer 5 days from now?
Yes, because you see, I might be someone who don't remember things in the moment as I should. And I probably just beat up on myself after. Oh, gosh, I forget to pray for that and I should have prayed for this and whatever. So I make sure and I write my prayer. And I should probably rehearse my prayer so I don't forget things, that it comes naturally. But I agree with you. The piece of paper and the tablet, it's kind of unbecoming now. But I have no problems because when you go to a funeral service and there's a summon to be done, doesn't the priest practice? He plan his summon and he comes. He comes with his summon because he has to do his
not pray.
He has to know about the person who is in the casket. He has to know little things because in his summon he has to relate that to probably the person or the person's family or the community and all of that. So you have to plan. You have to plan. In everything you have to plan.
Let me tell you, I agree with Scholar.
When you want to do your quick and them, it doesn't plan them.
Anyway, I agree with Scholar because as far as I learn, there are 3 principles to praying. First, you thank God. Second, you ask God to forgive you. And third, you beg God.
Oh, man.
Case closed. Yeah, but so Finley, you know that. You thank him. You thank him.
It's one clap.
No, you thank him. You ask him to beg your pardon, and then you beg him, and you. But that makes good sense.
When you show up with your Lugaru book,
Scholar, and that makes sense.
I find
yeah. Even Doc don't agree with me. But anyway.
What clap?
Anyway. We start a little late, so we go take the break just now. So right about now, we would go to the official opening and invite Brother Doc with the official Scholar ID. The feature address. So we now invite Brother Doc to do his thing every No. Listen to me. You is the Doc, so it is fitting that you do the feature address. So right about, ladies and gentlemen, let's invite Brother Doc to do the feature address. Brother Doc.
Well, folks, the topic tonight is basically independence and looking at what we have 49 and going onward towards 50. This year, I in my mind, I saw some upward movement in terms of external demonstration of love for country, maybe sense of patriotism. Actually, maybe a sense of euphoria. I would say a kind of calmness before the nation where people accept themselves accept. I don't know if it's because we had a new administration. I don't know if it's because we are looking right into the face of 50. But I really suspect that looking into 50 probably creates a sense that we are coming of age. And there are 2 things that happen. We were actually just talking about today. When you look at the calypsos this year, 2 kind of stand out for me in that way. One is the state of the state, looking at where we have been and what has happened so far and what are we doing. And that one was sung by
Prince.
Right. And the other one is looking driver, looking through the rearview mirror. And again, similar kind of concept, saying that we've been there. And we when you know how we're going forward, what are we bringing on the table? But I also feel that 50 years is a very significant number. And a child might be, you might say 18, you're an adult, but no, as a nation, 50 years, you know on your own. So I believe it is time for we have to stop thinking about reacting negatively. I believe we have had in Grenada, era where we fight against colonialism, fight against imperialism, fight against this and fight against that. I believe we are too old now to be fighting against. We might get the same result, but I think it is time that we fight for. What are we fighting for? So in short, our history, the last 49 years, when we fought against imperialism, we chased one imperialist power and then we embraced a second imperialist power. Because we were not certain as to what we want as a people. So I think we know at 50, it is up to us to make our choices, how we are going to develop Grenada by thinking not about fighting against other persons, but how we as a people are going to unite and move Grenada forward? What kind of food are we going to eat? What kind of industry are we going to develop? Etc. in this country. The other thing, what you mentioned about when we go to shop in different places, are we going to support our local industries? Are we going to work together? Like, would scholars see me as a partner for us to partner to build rather than thinking about foreign interests coming in? Are we still looking for handout? Are we still looking for, justification from other persons from outside to decide how we go forward? And I'm saying in this era in Grenada is not what other people may want or may not want for us, but is what we as a people must put on the table and work towards knowing. And according to Julius Nyeri out of Tanzania, Uhuru Mendelio, freedom and development. To be free, you must take your own responsibility. We cannot be free if we do not want to work and build Grenada for ourselves. Too often we believe freedom means that it's the absence of work or the absence of somebody telling us what to do. But when you are free, then you have responsibility. Just as a young man coming up with his own, when you are free, you can't expect your father to be giving you money on weekend. You can't expect that when you're home, you have to get food there. You cannot expect that you would get a house. You must build your house. You must build your life. So because you have a responsibility. And too often we leave all that part of our freedom or independence, that aspect of responsibility. That is my opening address, gentlemen and ladies.
Thank you very well said, man. Well said, Doc. Well said. Yeah, Doc, that was deep, man. That was deep. So
yeah, that's nothing compared to the Ascot we got last time.
No, yeah, that was deep. So let's take our break quickly, and then when we come back, fellas, you could comment on the opening, on the feature address, and then we'll start talking about the independence and things. So stay with us. We'll be back with you in just a moment.
Feature address.
All right. Well, apparently, our people, they ain't ready for us yet. So, you guys, you can comment on anything Doc said, or we can move on into the discussion for tonight. So, Skulls, you have anything to add or to subtract or to debunk what Doc said?
No, well, I mean, Doc spoke well. That remind me of one of them pastor or priest or whatnot in the sermon in the church service when he was praying by, even I had my dictionary even in it, because I hear some kind of words and some kind of phrase, and the way the man put the thing together. Yeah, words I never even knew he had words, so even if you have water song in the soul. So I mean, that almost had me reaching for me dictionary.
What I like about Doc when Doc doing the address, Doc he must find a way to bring in the mother country.
Yeah.
He must find a way to insert our ancestral roots. And Doc is scoring points there. Trust me, it's scoring good points there.
But here it is. What I'm wondering about Doc earlier, how true Doc is to this. And here why. Last time we had a program, when we spoke, I think we had touched a little bit on some of these emblems and the pledge and all these things and them. And Doc find everything perfect. And it should be left so. It shouldn't be changed. And I was like, as long as I didn't see Africa mentioned in some of these things and them, it don't good enough for me yet. So I want to know how true Doc is to that address. Right now, it was an A+, and he heading down for A- for me. He might ask you. Because I don't know, Doc. I don't know.
Scala, you see where you can make Reece a judge in Calypso?
Yeah.
In 1 minute, she had to change her in the film.
No, but let me tell you something. I think Reece can make a good judge because I have always felt that when you're judging Kaiso, you start every Kaisonian at 100 points, you know, and as they go along, you start to deduct, you know. So you deducting based on the mistake.
Yeah, but what Reece go do? Based on what that say, what Reece go do? Reece go judge. Reece might judge about 4 or 5 people, and then Reece might call back what he's supposed to do.
What? You have this thing wrong, you know. 2 of them have it wrong, you know. It's not me that will do that, you know. It's Doc. It's Doc that will do that because Doc said, leave it so. It's great. And then after he's saying, he talking about he adding in thing. So Doc is the one that will call back for score sheet, not me. Yes, anyway. I don't know where I stand already.
Listen.
So when I start them at 100 and I say, lyrics, I don't hear Africa yet, 50 come out. 50%.
Anyway,
that's why I go in.
I like Doc's address.
I don't know if you want Africa in it or if you don't want Africa in it. You don't know.
I don't care what they say. I like Doc's address and it's that.
The Doc address
so, let me ask all, that is that. Let me ask all you know. So Independence February 7, they had, you know, the usual thing in the stadium and, you know, all the little fancy stuff that has happened. The police officers doing their parade and, you know, all the little antics and things like that. Of course, you know, among other things. What was your, I mean, well, I know Scholar was there, Reece was there, I didn't see Doc, but I figured Doc had to be somewhere wrong with the dignitaries up in the stands.
I'm not
so, I didn't say you're a dignitary, I say you're probably up there with those dignitaries. So, guys, I mean, what was your thought on what transpired on February 7th?
Well.
First of all, you go ahead, Scholar.
Okay, let me just start because I don't want to go into February 7th. I want to take February 6th.
Right.
February 6th, they had the extravaganza, or they call it in Greenville, with the culture and whatnot. And I found that it was quite good. Now remember years ago when Ali Gill and them started this thing, I mean, the conceptualization of this thing, it was huge. It was not just a little thing in one place, but the whole of Grenville was changing to a sort of cultural kind of picture. And you had culture all over the place, too, and people are sang. Even I think the people with Fish Friday, all these people came up and they did their business and so on. It sort of watered down after a while. And then the cultural part of the whole thing with the singing and so on, even became watered down with the drumming and whatnot, and that could testify to that. But this year I found it to be very, very good. There were quite a lot of groups and so on show. I witnessed a little orchestra of school children that to me signifies that we are going in the right direction. I mean, there was some bugle blowing there, and them children blowing bugle as well as the police band. So that as well for the whole band structure and calypso and whatnot are looking further beyond. But there was, and then you had the nice fireworks and so on and so forth. There was one thing that struck me in this whole thing. Now, there was a synchronization with the fireworks and what was happening on stage and so on. And when the fireworks was going on, that, if you remember, Karim was singing Grenada, may God bless you. That little song there. And I heard Karim use words to the fact, to the essence that in, you know, this little part, what we all love, and Karim said it was in the Caribbean neighborhood.
First time you hear that?
First time I hear it. And the truth is that while it songs, it makes sense. When you think about the whole thing. Now, two things that struck me about that. One is that I used to say, Inika Niva Liga I was saying.
Well, no.
But the truth is that I've never asked anybody what saying. Two, I know what I say don't make no sense. Legal thing. It don't make sense. But I never really care. Because the truth, you see, this is the important thing, Godfrey, and I'm going back to the Kaiso thing. This is the important thing about melody that people don't understand. Is the melody what hooking you in this thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You ain't care about what the man saying, but that piece of melody is so sweet that you're singing it and you're singing it lustily. I believe that we were taught in school this thing to find it in the carnival, legal.
Well, I find it in the. I always know. Let me tell you, I always know and hear in the carnival, legal. We are Grenadians. Who are you?
Carnival.
And yeah, I find out was here in the carnival.
I don't know where you
in the carnival, legal.
I don't know how you understand how you hear carnival, and I don't know how you
Well, let me tell you something. Maybe I'm not even sure if it's out here, you know. But that is what we do. Hold on a second, fellas. Let me see if you all might be able to pick up that. I hope you all can. You're not getting it. Yeah, I was trying to play it, but anyway. But no, this is something. Well, like Doc say, I don't even know if it's out here. But if I had to sing it, it's something that I will sing, and it's that. But no, and mind you, I mean, yeah, we're talking independence, but that is something that happens with thousands of songs.
Yeah.
You hear something and you sing it, and that is it.
Is he on mute?
In the carnival. That one I used to sing in the carnival. Ibau. I used to say, and the U is so long, right? In the carnival, Ibau. We are Grenadians. Who are you?
Yeah.
I find that sounds closer to what I am hearing.
Yes, in the carnival, Ibau, and I never felt like how you feel, like it didn't make sense. It made a lot of sense. I say something in patois that I don't know, but I accept it as
and you sing it. And you sing it.
Singing. Yeah. In the carnival, Ibau.
Actually, Scholar, I believe Carrie maybe interpret the patois. And the parliament too, or whatsoever. Because I think in the Caribbean, who are you? It fit nicely
with neighborhood and you know, with
the Caribbean
neighborhood, yeah, the Caribbean neighborhood, yeah. It makes sense. It makes sense.
But I think we have some Facebook comments that some people are commenting on this. Reece, we could take a couple.
And I've lost some already because I'm using my phone right now to check the comments. But we had people like Dodo Charles, you know, saying that they agree with, you know, how prayers are supposed to be. It is supposed to be from the heart and not anything planned or so. Jose said one of the things with the Independence Calypso finals is that I like that the winner didn't forget his lines and still get a crown, as we've seen in the past. Also in the Calypso Monarch. Let's see, we have Jillian is saying, yes, Mr. Nelson, that is right there. Freedom comes with responsibility. There can't be one without the other. Jose again is saying, I also want to say that something that captured my imagination was the display made of past PMs and independence by Pastor King, also having their pictures with the types of suits they wore. Example, Gary with his cream suit. We have Dodo is saying, Ligaru, oh my God, I cry. Kim K is saying, thank you, Scholar, for the correct version, because I've been singing the wrong thing every independence. Abina is saying, I don't think anybody said the right words. Kim K is saying, Eba who? That's what she used to say. Let's see, Dodo is saying, always used to say, Mabau, Mebau, oh, Mebau. And Yulin is saying, Reece, me too. That is how I used to sing the song. So those are the comments that I've seen here.
All right.
That I'm able to access, yeah.
Honesto, I'm seeing something from Honesto. He said, I also want to say that something that captured my imagination was a display of, well, no, yeah, I think
I read that.
you read that, right.
It's only those further back, like
okay.
when they just
well,
came
yeah,
up.
the earlier ones were basically people just coming in and you know, greeting and so on and so forth. So, guys, let's see if we can get the break now and then we'll come back. So, stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment, folks.
A little more, a little more Shango.
Whether you're shopping for hardware, building materials, and appliances, Hubbard's Building Supplies at Grand Anse is the place to shop. With improved facilities, increased parking, wider variety of products, and a trendy and spacious layout, catering for all your shopping needs. Why wait? Visit Hubbard's Building Supplies today. Now open Mondays to Fridays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Hubbard's. Quality service, affordable prices.
Do you have muscular pain that no one can find a solution for? Are you tired of taking meds for joint and other pains? Hills and Valley Medicare Center on Grenville Street, St. George is here to help you heal. We will help you map a path to your full recovery. Visit us Monday to Saturday for a consultation with our on-site doctor, physiotherapist, and massage team. You will be glad you did. Our Medicare Center, a proud member of the Hills and Valley group of companies. On the hilltop or in the valley, we are with you wherever life takes you. Hills and Valley Pharmacy. Your health is our business.
WeatherGuard Pro. For every project, there's only one Pro.
Raise it high up the ladder. Let we set it on fire. A little more calypso. Forget the funk and the disco. A little more limbo.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Oui Culture, and of course, we sort of relooking the independence celebrations. So that was you know, quite something. And there've been some, as you mentioned, Song Scholar. There's been some staples as it relates to what we call patriotic songs. And again, I must hasten to say that you are involved there as well, because Zadel's song. That is a song. It's probably one of the first songs that I played at Independence Time.
Yeah. I think those that one and Bright Out the Darkness. Those songs. They will live on for many generations.
Yeah. There's also the Randy Isaac.
Randy Isaac.
Black Wizard. Ajamo. Quite a few of them.
Inspector.
Yeah.
Inspector, No Place Sweeter Than Home. So there are quite a few. There is this one about somewhere in the blue Caribbean Sea.
Mm-hmm.
What about Zadel's?
No, Rhythm Riders have a real classic one. Eh?
I Must Come Back. Yeah. I Must Come Back.
Yeah.
Island Call. Yeah, that's the name of it. Yeah, Island Call. Mm-hmm.
Y'all, Zadel's.
Well, that was the first one I mentioned.
That was mentioned.
Okay.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. There are quite a few of them.
One that I found kind of become popular. This guy from out of Carriacou. He used to sing this rum song all the time.
Lindy, Papa Lindy?
Yes, he has one that I found this year really kicking up, like in terms of popularity. I thought that one was really, really nice too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you know, Godfrey, the patriotic songs, they do something, eh? I mean, and again, here comes the role of the artist, eh? Well, I mean, we have one really facing us right now, but here comes the role of the artists that are able to capture or allow you to dig a little bit deeper than you normally would. So So those songs and them are able to pull out things from you and make you feel so connected. Imagine you are on a different island, in a different place, and then you hear those patriotic, particularly popular patriotic songs played, and you just feel so connected to everybody else around that is Grenadian. I mean, I think so. That is the role of the artist, is really to ignite your imagination and to create that sense of unity among us.
There's two songs that I'd like to highlight in the context of what you're speaking about. There's Fair Isle.
Yes.
Fair Isle does that, especially the second verse. The second verse appeals to the people in the diaspora. Even though our sons and daughters may leave our soil, you know, their dream is really to come back and be here. They're committed, right? But then there's a more modern one. And whereas it may not be simple-lined and of that Jim Reeves kind of feel, Scholar's Song of Resilience, that song. Everything that you say there about what it brings out and how it connects and all of that, that song is a song that is going to be sang not just by Scholar, but by other people, by groups going forward. Because you just have to sit and listen to every word of it. It takes you in, and it really speaks to anyone, whatever is your situation. It is not just about Grenada. It is deeper than that. It is so deep. And take a vote.
Yeah, Scholar, you mentioned and we were talking about the artist and the role of the artist in bringing that forward. And as you say that, is something just clicked, because for a couple of years now, around 5 consecutive years, every year, there is this one person, Pastor King, you mentioned him. I mean, who take this thing to a completely different level. And you know, just to exemplify, to amplify his Grenadianness in his village. And he does the street way down from by, I don't know, the river. Godfrey, you don't know the place so well, so I could excuse you. Way down from Glassy River, coming all the way almost to River Sally Junction.
But you don't know that by Miss Crystal there?
I know that would not get your reaction. Anyway, I mean, and I just find for the role he plays is like the role of the artist. He said, irrespective of what happening in the country at that time, that Pastor King is saying at that time, we are going to celebrate our heritage, our Grenadianness. And they say he did a whole depiction with all the leaders in the past. Prime Minister.
Didn't I see it vandalized as well?
That is,
that was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Just one thing. And Sedu also did a display, and a really nice one, opposite the courthouse. I mean,
okay, so which one was vandalized? Which one was vandalized?
I think it's the one by the courthouse. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Well, let me just say this to you, that Pastor King is a man. Pastor King is a creative. Pastor King, if Pastor King was not a pastor, Pastor King would have been singing Kaiso and this kind of thing. And Pastor King has a very, very creative mind. As a matter of fact, there are a couple of Kaisos that I've sung that I can tell you straight up. The ideas came from Pastor King. People, the other time I go to Pastor King church. I sit down and I listen to Pastor King. We had some GUT had something. And when the church done, I tell Pastor King, I write about half a song there, he maybe didn't believe me. But I listen to Pastor King, that song that I sang, Promised Land, when I start about Pastor King, and that true story. Pastor King got initiated the song. So this thing Pastor King doing there, and this year Jose thing, you see his display this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, all them leaders and them they face and them down in the suit and so on they used to wait and hang them, go down the road. I mean, as a creative, he's a very, very creative man.
But I also, before we just move away from that, there are some Calypsonians that I think we need to give some flowers, who've been dedicated to this independence calypso competition. I mean, we mentioned Eddie just now. Eddie has always been there. Our good friend Gon has had some really good independent songs over the years. So there are some of these guys who have always been there. There's a guy I haven't heard him. I haven't heard him lately.
We said.
Yeah, but Scholar, what's his name? He is I think he's from the Willis area there. That guy, his name just
Willis?
That area, yeah. His name just slipped me there.
You're singing independent song?
I wonder if it's Ja something.
Jai Angel?
Jai Angel, I think it is. Yeah.
Jai Angel was the. But one thing I would tell you about Gon, because he didn't make it this year, and it, to me I heard him. He was alright, but the thing about Gon, after all these years, Gon is singing, right? Gon is a man that easily could have a big fleet with tour buses and so on, bringing tourists and things. Because every time Gon says, Gon on the bus.
Gon is very entertaining.
Well, let me tell you, I think, well, maybe about. Probably maybe the year before the whole COVID thing. I heard Gon in one of the. I think when he was facing the judges, Gon actually played on the bus thing in his song. At one point, yeah, I mean the Gon. So.
But Scholar, just a note here, he's like Osapa Paul. And Osapa Paul run as something in Far East any place. But once you hear the crowd get too big, tense. I mean, Gon would sing his song just like that. He would sing it anywhere. But the competition just have him in a kind of way. Anyway, I guess like that.
Godfrey, let me just say this, before we think, because you asked about the 7th and 9th, we reached.
We ain't get there yet, yeah.
The display and all this kind of thing. No, I'm not one who takes a lot of interest in the display. I'll be honest with you. Me a kind of man when it comes to this thing and that. Because I believe, for one, that we say we shared this colonial thing and we didn't making papi show in thing with colonial thing and say we thing in a police marching. I always wonder why, what is the thing about some people marching? You put up a little person on top of a little thing. And then when you reach that person, you have to turn your head so you can't see where you're going. And say like, right. I mean, for the love of me, I can't understand what this thing is for, where that come out. And
it's a military thing.
It doesn't seem as though, because our country, it seems as though had this kind of thing.
It's a military thing.
I sure reverse and them had that in the school when they singing.
Practicing so much fast right now.
That's a military thing.
Understand. And the person who are there on top of the thing, taking the eye right? And there seemed to have been, I pick up that from the social media, they say that there was some issues in the stadium with some protocol thing. I think the Prime Minister had to go up something, and then some bugle maybe had to blow up before he come down. And the bugle don't blow, and he had then come down, and then he had to go back up for the bugle to blow. So he's like, with this kind of thing, for some people, the whole mash up, greater mash up because of the almost mash up because of the thing. And there are some people who are skipped in this protocol and so on thing. They will kill you for this thing. I honestly, while I understand protocol and there are certain protocols that there are some protocols that may be up myself behind. I mean, protocol, I don't know who made this thing, but that person that made this thing is a worthless person, and who bring that down here? Because, let me tell you something, protocol does have to decide how you have to walk. If you have fuck, how you put in the fuck in your mouth, how you hold in the protocol to eat, protocol to drink, protocol too. And for the love of me, while some people would see this as a big thing, and I listen to a program with Carly Straw and what you call it, lady? Jenny Simon. And it was like the whole mashup because the man go up the piece of thing and then he come down the piece of thing maybe because before the bugle song and then he had to go back up. And the whole mashup. And to me, I mean, I know people with the protocol, but as far as I'm concerned, so what?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So what? I don't know. I really don't.
But you see, Doc, let me hear you on that. Doc, I want to hear your take on that.
Something I don't mind coming in after.
No, Scholar finish. Scholar finish, Doc. Let me hear you.
Not respecting protocol.
But I believe everything. Scholar would know. I mean, I have always wondered why Scholar don't sometimes. I've never heard him or never recognized him flipping up on stage, mentioning his voice. I've never heard it.
Who's Scholar?
I've heard almost every other artist. Maybe he's so good at disguising it that I did not recognize it.
Scholar?
So
Scholar does make real mistake. Let me tell you, the first year Scholar win, he make mistake.
Right. So Godfrey, I mean, most people here would know what I do. We sometimes perform. We perform with the drummers, etc. And you work weeks on weeks to get your thing right. And somebody would move a drum in a place that they didn't have to prematurely. And you have to correct that. So the thing is, it's just natural. It happens to the best of us. That at something would go wrong at some time. And again, so these people come in with our Prime Minister and having to, thought the time was up. He went up onto the podium, stepped down. He was informed that he should stay up. He went back up. He didn't depart the area. He didn't move from the area. It was a slippage. It could happen to the best of us. But then you ask the question, so that happened. Who got killed? Who got hurt? Our country got embarrassed because of that act? Who take us to task? So to me, it is just insignificant.
Major in minor.
You're making a fuss about something like that. Did the Prime Minister go out and make a speech or did something that compromised our integrity or our character or something? And the answer is no. So what's the big deal? Because it could happen to the best of us. So I didn't see the
let me tell you, my take on it is honestly, I don't understand what is the issue. But I mean, if there's going to be an issue, I do not know why the issue has to be the Prime Minister. It clearly means that whoever was putting all of this together messed up because somebody did not do what was supposed to be done, and so that happened. But I don't understand.
But maybe they thought he knew.
No,
maybe they thought he knew.
Sometimes they informed him, but in the moment, he just didn't record. Sometimes they informed him. Sometimes it's sometimes it's them. Sometimes they did not brief him properly on that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it could be so. I don't know. But I'm just saying it is just so possible that a slippage. Something that happened again in the same protocol. I don't know if you want to call it. Something that happened. The Gigi was supposed to leave first. After the parade and everything, but the Gigi wanted to stay. The Gigi broke protocol, but nobody made a fuss about that because the Gigi insists. Not that the Gigi she was not aware. She was aware, but she decided she is staying.
But what is wrong with staying? But what is wrong with staying?
Broken, but it depends on what you want to make a fuss about. But nobody made a fuss about that one.
But let me tell you something. If the Gigi stay. If the Gigi don't go, nobody can go.
But the Gigi stayed for the speech. The Gigi was supposed to be the first person to leave. For a matter of fact, after everything, when you have an official thing and like example like independence, they usually have things for the officials to eat. So if the Gigi does not go into the place first to be served first, nobody else can eat.
No, you can't eat.
Yeah.
You mad. And if the Gigi decides she holding everybody under arrest,
Stage.
The Gigi, hold on. The Gigi would eat in her own deliberate judgment.
So there are protocols, but I'm just saying that sometimes something, can go helter-skelter. But I just thought that issue, because everything that had to happen, there where the Prime Minister was supposed to be at the podium, it happened. Nothing was missed. Everything happened. So it's just that he stepped down, he was informed, he had to step back up, he stepped back up, and things continued, nothing went wrong, as far as I'm concerned.
One of the comments that I heard as well is that the people commented on that the turnout was poor compared to other years. Y'all picked up that?
Well, I've seen crowdier stadiums around Independence. I've seen it bigger. I also heard a comment that it was so noticeable that there was a lot of red and yellow and hardly any green. And if there was any, it was green trimmings. It's like a little bit of green piping some way, whatever. But it's like Grenadians decided that they're coming out in red and yellow. And because the turnout was not the biggest that we've had, it is said that certain supporters alone not come out. And they decide it's red and yellow. What's that? Take red and yellow. Red and yellow according to him. Red and yellow and a tiny piece of green. I mean,
honestly, I find the reason for that is because how do I say rain setup. You know green as a rain.
Yeah.
They don't come, they don't come.
No, but
I find
two things. Based on what Reece said, two things. During the thing, they let go some smoke, a red smoke, a yellow smoke.
He stayed in the clothes.
And you don't see the green.
No green smoke.
And he had green smoke, but you just don't see the green smoke. The red and the yellow swallow the green smoke. People point to this thing. But I think what actually happened was that because the grass green.
Yeah,
the mask it, so you ain't seeing it does stand out against the grass. And that is a fact. But also, let me answer also, and probably you could put your finger on it. I know, for example, in the past, that my queen, for example, used to go in the rally. That is something she never used to miss. She going in the rally. And when she going, boss coming and pick out. And it was well known that in their years gone by, they used to bus people to the stadium. Buses left all over. As a matter of fact, they used to call out bus schedule. Yeah. What bus leaving where and what bus leaving where and what bus leaving where. So people had access to transportation. Yeah. That didn't happen this year. I ain't think.
No, I didn't hear anything.
That itself could have been.
There was also talk about the platoons, like, the different, when it comes to the numbers for the representing groups who took part in the parade, that it was smaller. I miss Beast being in these things. I think Beast was the original showman when it came to that. Now we have Mr. Cordina. I don't know about Macklin. Mr. Cordina doing it now, and he's super. But I miss that, So people complain about a lot of things. Well, at the end of the day, I have tried many times to meet the parade, to go to the stadium for the parade, and I'm yet to reach in time for the parade. I always reach after the parade. This year was my earliest, by the way. I got there about 2. I just can't make the morning. Even when they had put it for 2 o'clock, I remember about 2 years ago or so, they had it, or last year, they had it for 2 at 2 or something like that. I still didn't reach on time. I reached about 5. But I can tell you that view from your television is a better view than being in the stadium. You see everything. There's cameras pointing, zooming, you know? So I really didn't miss it. I totally enjoyed the performances with Dash and, you know, all of them. But the evening session with the vendors, I mean, I got to socialize with you guys. That was really nice. I enjoyed it. It was all right. I could see it growing and becoming better.
But also, Doc, one of the things that was commented on is that out of everything, why is it that the police choose to form a hat in the display?
Hat?
Yeah, they formed a hat.
Why don't see what the police want?
Yeah, they form a hat. Yeah, but I mean, they form a hat, yeah. But I don't know.
I
find so.
No, I didn't.
A heart. H-E-R-T.
But I didn't pick that one up, so you cannot comment on that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, you don't. I mean, let me tell you, people comment on every and anything depending on what suits your purpose.
Yeah, well,
so you know.
And I get that safely. But two things I noticed though, in terms of what is trending. One, in terms of the military parade. Some persons that are strictly military, they don't really enjoy or like display except totally military. So scholar will talk about protocol. Example like the McLean guy that became sensational to the crowd, etc. Some people that
Gregory,
they find that is not in good taste. But I think a lot of the people that went and were there, they totally seem to enjoy that aspect of it.
Not in good taste. What? I am so happy to.
I think. Let me tell you what I picked up.
Relaxing and being part of our culture.
But what I picked up, and again, maybe it might be a colonial thing, is that
colonial.
all the antics is well received, but that it should not be done in uniform.
You see, and that is the thing. That is a subliminal messages there. That what is African, what is beautiful, what is cultural about us is like blasphemous. It is a sin. It must. There are these things that are so pure and all that, and our culture must not be associated with it. What about the uniform? What about the?
Yeah, but the point is the uniform African?
Huh? You see, they had a leopard print on their clothes. You didn't see the leopard print?
I don't know.
So I just said for observation. The second point, Godfrey, is that lately you recognize that generally, in the couple years ago, I see that trending maybe in the last 4-5 years, where now you're having like T-shirts like Reece, pure white, and you would have certain writing or pure black. I find black is becoming
the independence,
but not the pure independence color we used to have. I believe that is slightly going away, and you have other persons doing the print and different write-up now, and that seem to be taking slightly trending. So I just wish that those two observations.
Skulls, before we go to Facebook, and then we'll take some telephone calls.
No, go on.
So let's take our final break, and then when we come back, we'll take our Facebook comments, and then we'll go to the telephone and take some calls from our listeners and viewers. Stay with us, folks. We'll be back in a moment.
Hubbard's is once again innovating the way you shop with its new online store, providing 24-hour shopping convenience. You can shop now for appliances, hardware, houseware, building material, and more. Free delivery island-wide. Start shopping now at hubbardshardware.gd. Safe, convenient, reliable.
Here is a little known fact. There is only one place in Grenada that you can get an MRI scan done. That place is Spicile Imaging Center. Yes, Grenada, that's the truth. Other centers could offer you other scans, but Spicile Imaging provides an authentic MRI scan. Here's another little known fact. Spicile Imaging has 3 centers. We operate at Grenville, the Carnage, and at the Ocean House Grand Dance. We provide the widest range of laboratory tests and services: CT scans, x-rays, mammograms, ultrasounds, and a host of other services. We are fully staffed by a team of family doctors and specialists. Call us today at 444-7679 or 440-1500. or visit any of our 3 locations. Spice Cell Imaging, from seeing the doctor to getting lab tests, scans, and pharmacy services. We are here to take care of you.
When a loved one passes on, we all need the comfort, support, and guidance of a trusted friend. You can rely on LaCour Brothers Funeral Home. We provide a personalized professional service that exceeds all expectations. Our dedicated staff responds to your every need with the greatest detail, ensuring affordability with a variety of options. Our upgraded state-of-the-art facilities, spacious air-conditioned chapel with live internet streaming, a modern, environmentally safe crematorium, the only of its kind on island, private viewing spaces, large on-site repast center, a modern transportation fleet. Join our burial society today and make personalized arrangements for that final moment. As you prepare to enter your loved one into eternal rest, visit or call LaCour Brothers Funeral Home and select a package that brings added comfort to the entire family. LaCour Brothers Funeral Home and Burial Society, continuing a tradition of excellence.
Raise it high up the ladder, let we set it on fire. A little more calypso, forget the funk and the disco.
Okay, welcome back. So, Reece, let's go to our Facebook page and hear what our viewers are saying.
So we had Shane Ellis saying that he used to sing the song in the Kadiba de Deba Wu. He said he sang it exactly that way and loudly too. Jose is saying, I think this year, especially the final, the writing was very much better, especially the lyrics, example H473, and Come to Say I Can Sing was also great lyrics to, and Coming to Say I Can't Sing was also great lyrics to highlight a few, but the others was also at the top, and I must say Kongori made me laugh. Abina is saying, scholar, check out Reece yellow cotton in the background. She forget the rest of the independence colors. You see that kind of melody? I go just leave that be. Angel Maras is saying, good night to the panelists in the Caniba neighbor. Who? We are Grenadians. Who are you? Land of Spice, where everything is nice. Grenada, may God bless you. Dodo is saying, yes, Doc, I admire him for doing so. Every year he does it, very patriotic. We have Angel is saying, Teacher Eddie's song for the independence songs like Grenada going for sale. His move goes the same way as Calypso. Chris Hutchinson is saying, small-minded persons. Angel Maras, Godfrey, good night. Leave my Calypsonian Jeffrey alone. He's a perfect singer. He does not make no mistake. He sang what he see. He sang what he see. Dodo Charles is saying, why do we make a fuss about all these insignificant things? Everything is about protocol. In the process, mistakes will be made. Some people scrutinize everything. Sharon is saying, that's okay, 50th will be full. Indra is saying, Reece, good night. I love your curtain in the background. Very nice color. All of my curtain gold, yellow. Abina is saying, but the reason the turnout used to be big in the past, NNP government making sure the Manis and his supporters getting free bus. Dodo is saying, leading up to the celebration, I saw red and yellow shortly. Sharon, you are right, scholar. My auntie was trying to find out about the bus because she wanted to go and she could not get any information. Dodo is saying, this is the first time for the PM, so next year will be better. 50th will be a blast and a lot of people in the diaspora will be there. Dodo is saying the culture session was packed. She's also saying the culture session was okay. I love the performance by the folks from Karakou. Cynthia said my grandniece was the youngest dancer in the group from Karakou. So those are all the comments that I've seen here.
All right, I have a couple on the WhatsApp platform. So someone says, "Good night, guys. Greetings. I would like to agree with Scholar. Prayers comes from the heart. Reading something with open eyes loses the essence of prayer. Godfrey makes a lot of sense also." Someone says, in the past celebrations, workers, including Imani, were bound and compelled to attend in the green. Well, I know about that. Someone says, the Gigi left the parade square and returned to the cultural ceremony. There were two ceremonies. There were buses organized from the various communities. Well, I guess that's in response to what Scholar said. Someone also said, do you know who sang the song "Beautiful Grenada, God Bless You"? Beautiful Grenada, how I love you. Beautiful Grenada, your sun and water so true. I might be able to tell you that. I can tell you that later on. I can go into my in my archives now, but I probably have that somewhere. Right. Someone says, team, I totally agree with Scholar. Reece, the receiver of the prayer is God and not the congregation. Right.
True.
Right. So I think that's about all the comments on the WhatsApp platform. So folks, our telephone line is open. The number is 435-2041. You can give us a call and you can make your comments. We'd like to hear your thoughts on the ceremony and on different things that we spoke about. So the number again, 435-2041. Give us a call and we'll be happy to hear from you. All right. So guys, there are people who are saying that this year was probably, in fact, that's one thing someone said to me. Maybe not a lot was placed into this year's celebration because of all the efforts that are geared at the 50th anniversary. Because many people are anticipating that next year is going to be really, really good. In fact, I added that next year they should have 2 years for celebration. I did to jump up. I did to jump up, and then I did to have the police and them marching and doing the
jump up. Is that jump up talk there? That jump up talk? That confusion talk.
Hold on. But I think some people have already started prepping for that, and that way I think you put your finger on something there. Because I heard that very early in the piece that they'll have a scale down thing this year as they prepare early for next year and have a massive thing. And I would say we have a two carnival. As a matter of fact, Godfrey talking about the come back and thing and when things. But I don't figure it is for independence we have a come back because I had a shirt money as peace in Kaiso.
Yeah, Doc, he said to confess, man.
No, I
agree with you. Don't get blessed.
I didn't say I stay out of independence, I say carnival thing.
Right.
I know that we are staying out, I take it in break, but you see that independence with 100,000 you want to be there?
I agree.
So hold on. So independence are giving you 100,000?
But Godfrey, don't repeat that.
Yes.
I thought the match grant.
Hold on.
I don't talk like that.
Give us a.
I thought the match grant.
I got it to Dr. Give us a. No, I see some fellas once again by Livingston and them up there. Green, yellow, and red jab. On Independence Day, play a jab from where they come out to go in Tivoli harvest. That you don't know what happened.
I heard that. I did.
Right.
Well,
these fellas are prepping Godfrey.
Yeah.
As though next year, 50 years, Jab go play, Max go play,
well,
she go come out with Jihan and she business and them. And it seems as though I'm watching this thing carefully. Because anytime you say celebration and thing in Grenada,
it's job, you know.
Job must be a part of
No, you don't job. Don't job. It's not job. You have to be a part of it. It's job.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
job. Anyway, guys,
I have purported that they could not have been independent without the job. The job is a precursor to independence. You can't leave the job after that.
Let's go to the telephone. We have some callers on the line. We Culture, good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good evening, caller.
Good evening.
Yes.
What the state clearly is, every year, every time you celebrate 50th years, this is known as the golden years. So I think it will be a real good celebration time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. So the caller saying she thinks it will be a big one. I find we have to have jump up. You know, we love to jump up. According to Uncle Gary, you know, in 74, when people demonstrating like peas and thing, old mass in Grenada, when they ask Uncle Gary, well, what is going on in Grenada? Uncle Gary said, oh no, these are my people. You know, they just love to jump up. We will have a real jump. They just love to jump up. We go have a real thing. Let's go back to the telephone. We Culture, good evening. Hello.
Hey, good evening, Godfrey.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, not bad. But I need you to turn the volume of your device down and listen to me on your telephone.
Okay.
Yes. Are you hearing me better now? Okay, yes, go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, good night.
Yes, caller, turn the volume of your TV or your radio down.
Independence wasn't too bad, but what okay. You heard now?
Yes, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Hello, you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The only thing I was missing was the nurses. They should have some trained nurses to be in the parade too. That's how we 70 years ago. But didn't have none this year.
We have a shortage of nurses on the island.
Okay.
Point. So thank you. Hoping that next year they'll have trained nurses to be in the parade too. They look nice to the nurses.
Thank you, caller. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. And with the paratroopers.
We're not nurses in Grenada again. All them nurses.
Yeah, the paratroopers.
The last nurse was in the March last year, you know. So I don't know what's going on.
But remember they bring paratroopers here and they crash you.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
To just add to the little melee, right? In the recent election, they talk about paratrooping. You know? So we are our last nurse and we have our last paratrooper.
Let's go back to the telephone. We Culture, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Yes, go ahead.
This is Stronghold. I think Grenadians need to say what they want instead of, it's going to be a big one. And I have a suggestion for the big one. I think all our heroes, you should print their faces, like the Prime Minister, past Governor General, Anderson, Murray, all the heroes, and let all the jerseys be printed. And they want to be independent like these people. That's a big one for the next 50.
Thank you. Thank you, caller. All right. 435-2041, and that's the number you can call, and you can get to add your little contribution to the program this evening.
How come we don't talk about, or they talk about those patriotic songs and all these things? How come we don't talk about those folk songs and them? Those folk songs and them, which in my opinion, do make sense.
Yeah, but that program for yourself, you see. If you talk about folk song now, like tomorrow we finish, you know. Because among the folk song, Doc know. And when Doctor to sing folk song here tonight, it's problems. When Doctor to sing Laka Piti Muela pour in there, you go find out. Let's go to the telephone.
The drum.
Oui Culture, good evening. Hello? Hello? Okay, 435-204. Call us, please. When you call, turn the volume of your radio or your television down, or you could turn it off and listen to us on your telephone, or else you'd have difficulty hearing us and understanding because you'd hear us delayed. All right, so when you call, turn the volume of your radio or your TV down and listen on your telephone. Let's get back to the telephone. Oui Culture, good evening.
Hello?
Yes, good evening, caller. Mm-hmm.
Yes, hello?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Hi, good evening. How are you doing?
Very good.
I'm this person, like, I look at audio a lot. I don't call often. That's the first time I call.
Okay.
Good night to the lady of the room, of the,
Good night.
what do they call it? On the internet.
I know that voice.
Huh? Reece.
I think I know that voice.
No, you don't know my voice. But something I want to say, the other day I heard something about the slavery days when the Queen and them, they take the slaves from Africa, from India, from China, they brought us here. And they owe us a lot of money from these people from Europe, all of them. They think of these things what they have done. I mean, you have to forgive them still. I mean, maybe they don't owe us nothing, I don't know. Maybe they owe us some things. They say they give them back to the community. This white lady came on the TV the other day. She called her Hanky. His name. I look at it a lot. I'm a soul person, a soul sleeper.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Godfrey.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I look at you. I like your laugh. You laugh a lot. I like you. Make a lot of jokes. You know, there's no problem in laughing. Laughter is a good medicine. I think there's no problem in laughing, you know, at some things, you know, in life.
Okay.
But you understand what I'm saying? I think it was more than money. Maybe it's more than money. Maybe it's forgiveness. What do all you think?
Okay. Well, we'll hear what you guys have to say about it. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. All right. Doc?
Yeah,
but Doc, do you see, Doc, you don't understand. Them kind of heavy, deep stuff, that's your forte.
That kind
yeah, that kind of high level thing. That kind of high level thing, that Doc thing.
Talking about the travel and the travel and family. They want to pay reparation and they want to decide.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. I said the Traveland, the name of the family is the Traveland or something like that. Yeah. And they want to pay, they want to get everybody from the family to come together to have an official apology. And they want to give us as much as £100,000.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to go into a special project that they decide. It's creating some conversation here and there. But I think the jury is out. I don't want to say too much about it. But I also believe there are certain negative, but I also believe that one of the good things that can happen is that it can spur or encourage the parliament in England and some of the other wealthy landowners and those in France and America to consider doing same in terms of paying reparation. But I think in the opening, my speech is basically focused not on what they can give to us, but is what we must get for ourselves and what we can take, you know. So I think the focus for me after 50 years of independence is for us to focus on what we can do, and not just look back on what they have for us, but on what we can do for ourselves. And you know, if part of it is making our demand, then so be it. But I think I would say that is as much as I would say on that issue.
Right. Reece, you want to comment on that?
Well, I just thought that we could handle that as another program.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because that is something that requires here.
And we have very able guests that we can bring in to have more detailed discussions on that.
Definitely, I agree. Let's go back to the telephone. Okay, we lost that caller. 435-2041. That's the number you can call. Let's go back to the telephone again. Oui Culture, good evening. Hello. Okay, guys, anything else we want to touch on? At the celebration that
There's one thing. There's one thing that I want to highlight, and I'll go back to the church service. And I believe that for the first time, I don't think that there has ever been that in history, and it kind of shows a coming of age and a maturity as far as I'm concerned. When you have this church service thing, you have the usual suspects. You have the conference of churches, bishop, and so on and so forth, represented and praying and saying things and so on. But I think for the first time, and I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'm stand corrected, but I saw the Rastafarian Nabingi were an integral part of the thing. And they prayed and they chant and they do the thing and they light up the place. As a matter of fact, they came with a whole I don't know how you
entourage. Entourage.
No, I don't want to use entourage, man. Entourage is the African word. How you call it? Yeah, I don't know how they call it.
Squad.
Congregation. I don't know if there is congregation too. I don't feel. But whatever congregation means.
You come with the whole assembly?
The assembly.
Yes.
The assembly of the Nabingi. And they were there. And they light up the place. And that to me is a sort of maturity, a coming of age. And maybe next year I would want to see the spiritual baptism and so on. Maybe represented in there as well. Because it gave it a real nice touch, I can tell you. And people really enjoy the praying and the chanting and the singing and so on. The drumming of the Nabingi assembly.
Right.
Excellent.
Just to add to that, Doc. Aside from the praying aspect of it, even at the expo, because they are very much involved in craft and things like that, and they do have some excellent products that they display, using our wood and bamboo and all of these things. So yeah, definitely, this is something that needs to be endorsed. Because they do play their role, So I think that is worthy of being highlighted. Just to talk, as I mentioned, Expo and some of the products. It is quite wonderful to see. That there are people who are getting involved in some level of business. The agro industries. You saw a lot of different things being, on display and on sale and all of these things. So I think it all added to the celebration and efforts must be made to encourage more of that. So it can just grow.
Well, there are 3 things, Godfrey. And a caller earlier mentioned, like, we shouldn't just say we want it to be big next year. We should say how we want it to be big. So, one, I would like to see some announcement about really bringing some of the, because we have a lot of small cottage industries, so agro industry here in Grenada. So I'd like to see the government having a partnership with those agro industries, mainly with the sole purpose of marketing and helping package and then marketing the product, because I believe that is the way to go. And announce that is what we're doing, that is where we're going after 50 years of independence. So I think we're heading that way. A second thing, a couple of years ago, we used to have some serious display. Now, all of them is symbolic, but I believe he brought a lot of pride. I mean, this year there was not that much painting on the street. But I would like to see a lot about designs, serious designs using our colors. When you look at football, like FIFA World Cup football, I think Cameroon and Ghana. I mean, and you see those people with their regalia. I mean, they're looking real kingly and queenly. And I would like to see our Grenadian artistic people do things for independence and have a greater display of our work. I'm talking about mainly in the fashion industry, but using our product and our colors. And the third thing I want to comment on is that there has been a new trust in the political arena with the Thomases. Those two persons coming up, signaling a new a sense of maturity in the politics. And hopefully, as we go forward, we can see a little bit more of that level of collaboration and cooperation taking place. Bringing all the forces together with opposition and government, sitting side by side, discussing stuff publicly and openly, and trying to move Grenada. You know, you don't have to be as close as the Thomases, but I mean, a kind of invitation for us to work together on all fronts. So I would like to see 50th anniversary, we showing a little bit more of that, and the government being in that position, making the first move to reach out to say, let all of us put hands to work together.
You know, interesting that you said that, because let me ask you, your opinions, at the independence celebration, because independence is a national celebration. What's your thought on, as it relates to the addresses that are made on the day? What's your thought on both the Prime Minister and leader of the opposition addressing the Grenadian people?
Well, I mean, I think you just add a step higher to what I was indicating, that, a combined vision. What do we want for Grenada? So it would be nice to see the leader of the opposition and the Prime Minister on the same platform for this once, and echoing certain sentiment, that while they would keep the party base, and while they know that there are going to be differences, but that is a picture that we both can buy into, to say, well, that is how Grenada should be in the next 50 years. It could just be symbolic. It probably may not even be, but it's symbolic. And I believe that would be a good thing that we're just saying it. I think it makes a whole lot of sense. And it could show a level of maturity. Let us cut back on the red, not the red, sorry, the yellow and the green. Let us see if we could eradicate the big divide that seemed to be, between us or among us.
Scott, what's your thought on this?
Boy, all that and them sound good in theory.
Exactly.
That is theory thing, but in practical terms, them things ain't working easy. As a matter of fact, that speak of the what you call them, the Thomases, and the Thomases are unprecedented, and a lot of people ain't pleased, including the leader of the opposition.
That's so point for some people, for a lot of people.
But that's expected.
That she ain't pleased with this kind of thing, and then on top of that, the one of the Thomases,
What are you want, scholar?
According to the green Thomases.
The green Thomas and the yellow Thomas.
Went to New York, with
the yellow Thomas?
No, the yellow Thomas was.
Oh, the yellow Thomas didn't go. Okay.
Yellow Thomas in there, but he went to New York with the yellow boys, and that in itself again created us. And the truth is that our politics has not matured beyond that level. Yeah. And culturally, it is something that you expect is not accepted because of the fact that we have these two political entities who are powerful, and since the coming of I think it has been, the whole divide and so on has been exacerbated even further by this colors thing, the green and the yellow and so on, create even a bigger divide. I think for somebody who had a song, say children choosing colors in lollipop, blue and yellow and red, and so on, and that is the extent to which it goes. So unless
big song about I love.
But unless politics becomes mature, and not mature in terms of symbolism, because mind you that what the Thomases are doing is not symbolic, and everybody.
No, I know it is real. I question it. It's quite real. It's real.
If you just have the leader of the opposition and the prime minister, the two Mitchells, going on a thing symbolically to give speech and so on, people will see into it for what it is, because we're watching to see what happens when they step down from that little podium. What happens in the next couple of days when all kind of chip shots and political points and who's choking and whatnot waiting. So we have not reached that level of maturity, sadly.
Scholar. When they come down from the podium, the fight continues. But it is symbolic. Let me say, when Siaga and Michael Manley was put together by Bob Marley, I mean, that immediately just quelled the level of violence that was taking place in the Jamaican society. So the next day, they had war again. I mean, the two political leaders in Jamaica. But that moment brought something to people. It ignited the imagination that the two persons could go on stage and hold hands. They can shake hands. And that brought, I mean, as I said, the level of violence at that time, Jamaica had around 780 murders that were already committed. And
Doc, let me tell you something. He had the first sitting of Parliament in Greater here. And pictures surfaced where the Prime Minister and the opposition leader and them and they
laughing,
laughing and so on. But you know what people say? People don't drink that. People still feel.
Because you see, it's embedded deep in us. This tribalism thing, this color thing, it's deep inside of us. So it's a difficult thing.
Most people know when you go in a room and you think you're expected to laugh and chat, I mean, to be cordial. But on a public stage now, I think it is different. It is not the same thing. On a public stage, where you're sharing the podium for independence. It means that the Prime Minister, the President, the Prime Minister, this President Mitchell, extend an invitation to the leader of the opposition, if it is that same one. Well, yes, to the next Mitchell, and say, let us share a platform and we address the nation. I think that would.
Anyway,
and then when they step down and they foot
fight again,
and they foot the grass, we start with some tribal nonsense.
Anyway, guys, let me tell you. We must end by 10 o'clock. So we must end by 10 o'clock. So Reece, let's just take the Facebook comments, and then we would wrap quickly for today.
Okay, so we don't really have much. We had Dodo saying Jab and Shockney is taking over next year's celebrations. Cadella is saying, ask Collar why he didn't go and match to represent the nurses. Dodo is asking Honesto, when is he going to be a guest on the program? Dodo, do not light your last candle. He's a keyboard bajan. Then we have Dodo is saying, yes, Doc, it would be nice to have that, but I don't think it will be easy, but it can be done. Jose is saying, Godfrey, Scholar, Doc, and Reece can't afford me. You hear? He said we can't afford him. It's not we can afford him. He had too much of commitments, and he like keyboard. Dodo is saying, Reece, don't fall for that trap. Abida said, good topic. Now, me for my closing remarks, I'm just gonna stay on the whole last bit of conversation we had there about the 50th, what to expect, I would like to see some significant steps be taken in terms of building pride within the different parishes. And I think each parish has their share of heroes. And I would really like to see us not just talking national, but allowing for the little boys and the girls, you know, the men and women, when they go through their parish, that there's something that they can look at and feel proud and want to emulate. So I'm looking at it more on a parish level. What is it that we can do to honor our heroes and instill pride in our villagers, in our townsmen, to encourage them to be their best selves, creating a more conscious people, ever conscious, you know, and that is my thing. That is what I would like. I'm not thinking pie in the sky, all the fanciness and the flair and the fireworks and all these things. I'm sure it's going to happen. But I'm thinking about more lasting things that, you know, can stay and be a mark for people to really look at and feel proud about. So that's what I'd like to see.
Doc,
and that's it for me. Good program.
Yeah, Doc, your closing remarks.
But I want us to take a page. There's a young man in La Poterie, actually close to my age. His name is Billy. Billy is blind. Now, and Billy is one of the best bicycle repairman around the area. Billy is one that usually help fix weed eater, etc. I'm saying if Billy, that is in this state, can use the fullness of his talent, I am saying if only we as a people, as a nation, can employ the talent and use our talent to further develop collectively, I believe we can conquer mountains. So I'm just saying, I want to big up Billy, and I say for the next year, I like Reece where you went with that in terms of the parish. I believe it's significant. I'm saying for the nation, let us see if we could tap into the collective talent of our people.
All right, thanks. Finley?
I'm not sure if Doc used a correct thumbnail. I ain't sure I have to correct you. I ain't sure
you blind.
Billy blind.
Yeah, that when I hear you say that, kind of get a little afraid, you know, because
Billy impaired.
Yes, he has a sight impairment.
I mean, I don't know.
Sight impairment.
You could say blind or see impaired.
As we see.
Blind or see defense?
Sight impairment.
Oh, you can say blind, and you can say sight impaired.
Right. All right. Okay.
All right.
Scarlett, let me go faster because
blind is like deaf.
I can cross it.
Blind, deaf.
Afraid. So you. Afraid to cross it. Let me go fast.
Okay. So boys, good program. Once again, looking back at the nostalgia that the independence usually would create. It's actually always a big time for Grenada, as it is for all of the other Caribbean islands when they're celebrating. And, you know, Grenada come with all its frills and so on, with its Isle Down, which is a big thing. I believe that in terms of national dish, Grenadians probably make the most fuss over what they claim to be a national dish. Remember that it's not a national dish, we just pick up that and say it's a national dish. But we make so much a big fuss over this thing. And the thing is that, you know, I was telling somebody the other day, and joke I'm making here, but
what I was telling somebody
the other day, if I become Prime Minister in Grenada, I don't feel I will last 2 weeks here. I feel they will overthrow me because the first thing I do is I ban Isle Down. Because in Isle Down have too much grease for me. So that's the first thing I change in the national dish, and you know if I change the national dish. that is
they go overthrow you.
They go overthrow me. So I would never like to be prime minister. But all of this help to build that kind of, nationalistic atmosphere, nationalistic fervor. The clothing, the commercialization that has now become our independence. I mean, a lot of businesses and so on eat our food, and a lot of commerce actually takes place, and money, coins change hands, which is a good and a bad and so on. But at the same time, with all of the commercialization and all of these things, I would hope that for the 50th year of celebration, that we do not just look at that commercial aspect and the hype and the rave and so on, but delve deep and help children to understand, not just to wear colors and colors day and don't even know what the hell those things mean, and don't even understand the history of independence and all of these things. And we have to do more for that 50th year. I don't know if it's a school system, the civics and so on, because I think we are much more civic-minded, even though independence is a bigger thing now. But I believe in our time, we understood what independence means much more than it is now understood by even big people, really. So this is where, so we could get a full understanding of our whole independence thing, so that we could celebrate 50 years in a big way, so that is what I want to leave it here.
Thank you very much, guys. Well, I don't have time to make any closing comments, so I thank you all again. Thank our listeners, our viewers, and of course, join us again for another edition of Oui Culture. All the best. Good night.
Raise it high up the ladder.